Hey, what's up, fam? So, came on here today. I know I introduced a video series about healing your gut, um, talking about my experiences living with chronic GI issues. But in this video series, I really want to talk more about my experience, because I really don't want anyone out there to have to go through what I went through. There's a certain process to healing your gut. It's not just about just eating a bunch of supplements. There's a process, and part of the series is about me trying to educate you guys for free, what you could do to help. If it weren't for this experience, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have the beliefs that I have. I wouldn't be pursuing spiritual path. I wouldn't probably be as holistic as I am. So I guess for starters, it starts with viewing the experience kind of as a positive one that God has given you to help further your evolution. I know that could be hard to see while you feel sick, but you just gotta really see the light at the end of the tunnel and just keep believing in yourself and your path of healing. Because I could tell you, if you get stuck on feeling how sick you are and you don't picture yourself in the future as being healthy, you won't get there. And that's from my experience. You can't dwell on the fact that you feel sick right now. You almost have to embrace it, and accept the path that God has put you on, and realize that it's all for a reason, for your awakening, maybe to realize certain problems on the planet that they don't really want you to know. I just want to get right into my story as to when this all started happening to me and how. I will talk a little bit about cavitation surgery, which I had very recently. I was told by a naturopathic doctor to go get it done. But what really began my condition was getting my wisdom teeth pulled, right? So I had all 4 of my teeth removed. And I was put on a lot of antibiotics, which completely messed up my microbiome. So, which is why you should just stay away from my antibiotics if you really don't need them. But yeah, I was eating like crap. I was eating caramel, popcorn, and ice cream, being a 17-year-old, right? And I wasn't giving good care instructions. So the procedure seemed to have gone fine, right? About a month went by, and I started getting an infection in my bottom left tooth, which is a dry socket, right? So I came back to the oral surgeon, and he had to reopen it, and it just became this bloody mess. And felt terrible. I swallowed a lot of blood, right? I went straight to work after that, right? My mom drove me to work. I get there, I felt like I was going to faint. I thought I had to go to the hospital. Things were turning green and red around me, and I had 2 really painful bowel movements, right? I felt everything in my gut turn in like a washing machine, and I went home. I sat on the toilet again, dropped off them Lincoln Logs, and after that intense pain had subsidized, but I was left with this burning sensation in my epigastrium and in my stomach. And it never went away after that. It just was, but that was just the start of what would devolve into even bigger problems for me. I went back to that oral surgeon after that happened, and he told me that he has no idea why that would happen, and that has nothing to do with the surgery. And me being naive during the time, being a kid, I just kind of let it go. But if that were me now, I would have lost my. I would have threatened to sue that guy in a heartbeat. But yeah, I went to go see other my primary doctor, and I went through a revolving door of other GI specialists after that, and they all did the same process, and they also told me the same thing that had nothing to do with the surgery. And I started just getting angry, that none of these people were going to help me. And all these doctors prescribed the same thing: proton pump inhibitors and sucralfate. And in fact, some of them made me feel even worse. And a lot of these doctors, I know a lot of other people have the same experience with proton pump inhibitors. If you stop taking that stuff without weaning off, the stomach acid comes back double because your body doesn't know how to create it anymore. And it tears you apart. And that happened to me, and that actually is what caused my condition to become even worse for the years to come. And the doctor told me I could just stop it and didn't tell me to wean off of it. And, just a bunch of bozos. Like, they don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't even know how they're qualified to be doctors. But it took me to my 5th GI doctor, right, to actually get one who was like kind of all right. He told me to take a GI map test, and the GI map shows a lot of your inflammation level, bacteria, right? The other stool tests I had like missed all the bacteria that it should have shown. Showed that H. pylori, streptococcus, I forgot, there's another one with a funny name, Candida bacteria. He also had me do a speed test on my stomach that shows how fast your stomach is moving. So he was a little better, but he also didn't acknowledge holistic medicine. That's another thing. I remember showing a few of the other doctors the supplement that I started taking called zinc L-carnosine, right? And there's medical journals in Japan that show that this is a very good supplement. And they all like told me that there's no medical journal on that. And I literally pulled it up and showed them, and they all got kind of like angry with me that I was showing them the truth. And it's just like that's the moment after like the 3rd or 4th year of dealing with it where I realized like these people aren't going to help me. I started waking up to the corruption in these systems. Also, I started taking matters in my own hands and started pursuing that holistic approach. And it took me 8 years to figure out that SIBO and dyspepsia, which is absolutely absurd that it took that long. But that holistic journey that I went on, I started taking a lot of good stuff like marshmallow root, licorice root, amino acids, the zinc L-carnosine, just a lot of stuff. But I didn't all that stuff helped me to feel better. But like I said earlier, like there's a process to healing your gut, especially when it gets that messed up, that taking random supplements doesn't exactly work. There's an order. I started seeing holistic doctors and naturopaths is when I started realizing this. One of the first ones I went to, I was in Poland visiting my grandfather, and she was a lady who did bioresonance therapy. So she hooked me up to this machine that reads a lot of the, magnetic waves of your body. And that picked up that I had the bacterial infection. So she gave me a lot of stuff like wormwood oil, something called Parafarm, Artemisia. And that stuff helped a little bit, but it still didn't get me out. It still didn't like fix me. And then after that, I started seeing a naturopath named Dr. Saunders. He's the best naturopath doctor ever. Big shout out to him for helping me. He's the one who informed me about cavitation. So for you guys that don't know what cavitation is, basically after you get your wisdom teeth removed, the bone doesn't grow back fully, and it leaves this air pocket where there's like fibrous bone that's not fully grown in, and it harbors bacteria. So it's like an acute infection, and it leaks out into your bloodstream and cause systemic illness. And in my case, I know that's true because my systemic illness literally began the moment that thing got infected. So I went and got that done recently, about 2 weeks ago. So I'll let you guys know how I'm feeling in a few weeks from now. But I think I do notice a little bit of a difference in my health since I had that done. You also have to go to a holistic or a biological dentist to get those cavitations checked out, because regular dentists do not acknowledge that condition. Same way doctors don't acknowledge holistic medicine or, taking herbs. But I'll go off about cavitation in another video. Another thing Dr. Saunders had me do was this allergy test, right? They tested like what my body just can't digest and what maybe I'm allergic to. So this test wasn't like regular allergy tests you get from the doctor, because I've had many of those and it didn't show anything really. But this test, what was really cool about this one was that it showed the specific proteins in like dairy that I can't digest. Instead of just saying dairy, like it shows specifically each protein in gluten. So it turns out that I'm not supposed to be eating gluten and dairy, especially while I have this inflammation. And then I'm also lacking the enzyme to process carbohydrates. So what it showed was that I have a high level of zonulin or anti-zonulin. I have to look at the test again, I don't remember exactly, but I have high levels of this antibody. And this antibody is present in the body when you have leaky gut. So how I'll explain leaky gut is basically your intestines have this mucus lining, right? There are these little gateways where only certain things are supposed to pass through. When your intestines are damaged, let's say by this bacteria like Candida, these gateways become enlarged, and things like carbohydrates and vitamins and proteins will leak through the intestinal wall into your bloodstream. And this causes your body to have an immune reaction, which is why I have this high level of zonulin or anti-zonulin antibodies. So then it has to go down to the bloodstream over there and destroy the carbohydrates, destroy the things that are supposed to be good for you. So, which is dangerous because you're becoming sensitive to your own antibodies. So this is why no matter what supplements we take and the quantity that we take it in, it feels like we don't get any better, because we're too inflamed to actually absorb any of the nutritional value of anything that we're putting in our body. Which goes back to the step-by-step process that needs to be done in order to actually heal your gut. But in my case, in the case of leaky gut, like, you know, these high level of these antibodies is basically your condition that started from just a gut inflammation is now spiraling into an autoimmune disease, because you're not supposed to have these high zonulin antibodies. But by taking enzymes, this is reversible. You know, that's probably the main thing that I've been taking that's probably has helped me the most. Yeah, so where I'm at now, I feel a lot healthier, especially since the pandemic. I remember during that time, all the meditation and yoga and supplements in the world could not help me to feel better. It was an uphill battle, you know. I used to have nightmares of spiders like jumping into my chest, just stabbing me, and I would just wake up almost jumping out of my bed. Yeah, I'm just glad I'm here right now, feeling a lot healthier, and I really want to help you guys to heal as well, because I don't want anyone being a victim to this industry that could give less of a crap about your health. You know, really got to be your own doctor in this world. Go get a naturopathic doctor too on your side. Maybe go get that Vibrant Labs test done. I'm going to be making more videos about this in the future, especially, like I said, about the healing process, especially since I went through a whole plethora of these conditions like SIBO, leaky gut, and dyspepsia. So, you know, you guys tune in later, you'll see that I have all that stuff on my page. But yeah, thanks for listening. It's been real, yo. Happy healing and peace. I'll see you guys in the next one, all right?